What if, in less than 10 minutes, a game didn't just ask for your attention, but took your soul hostage? Climax? You're wondering, how did we get here? Why do we care so fast? Because these games don't just tell stories, they grab you by the collar. They hurl you into moments so rich with tension, music, mystery, or heartbreak, you forget it's only been minutes. And when it's over, your world has changed. Just a little. You don't play these RPGs, you survive them. So, ready for just 10 minutes? Be warned, there are some small spoilers from each game present. In the cold, indifferent silence of space, explosions don't echo. They sear, they shatter, they erase. That's how Mass Effect 2 opens, not in triumph, but with annihilation. You are Commander Shepard, or at least you were. The Normandy, the strongest ship in the Alliance fleet, is under attack by an unknown force. No time to investigate, no time to speak. You order survivors into escape pods, and then the hull ruptures behind you. Gravity dies. Debris dances around your arms as you're pulled into open space. Your oxygen runs out, your heartbeat slows, and then black. It's not a game over, it's a reset, a rebirth, a statement. Mass Effect 2 kills its hero just to show you that nobody, not even the protagonist, is safe. What follows is resurrection, but not by your friends, not by the Council, not by the Alliance. No! You're brought back by Cerberus, a shadowy extremist group that claims they are saving humanity. But at what cost? When you open your new eyes, you're not in a hero's parade. You're inside a burning space facility under attack by rogue security mechs. Your first mission isn't exploration, it's escape. No tutorials, no hand-holding, just instinct, fear, and gunfire. Yet somehow, it's all familiar. The weight of the pistol in your hand, the snap of biotic energy in your palm. You haven't just come back from the dead, you've been reforged, upgraded. But the world has moved on. Your crew is scattered, your reputation is broken, the Council ignores the Reaper threat. And the colonies? They're going dark one by one. Entire cities are disappearing without a trace. And so, your new mission isn't about duty, it's about recruitment. You gather mercenaries, assassins, war heroes, AI experts, alien outcasts, and a human biotic so dangerous she's kept in a glass hell. Every companion has a past, every loyalty needs to be earned. Every choice ripples outward into their missions and the fate of the galaxy. There's no clean path forward. Even among friends, trust fractures. Romances spark into fierce, fragile flames. To prepare for the collector threat, you'll sacrifice what's left of your old self and hope what you've become is enough. Mass Effect 2 is more than a sci-fi shooter. It's a spacefaring tragedy, a meditation on identity, a conversation with death, and a dance with destiny. And it never, for a single second, lets you forget how close you are to losing it all again. Because this time, the game doesn't just ask you to save the galaxy. Midgar is a city of contradiction, a mechanical beast strangling the world for energy, its neon guts pulsing above the squalor of slums. The game throws you into chaos. Cloud Strife, a spiky-haired mercenary with fractured memory, boards a train with environmental rebels, no context offered, only urgency. A bombing mission planting a device in a Mako reactor pumped full of the planet's lifeblood forces your moral compass to wobble from the very first battle. Barrett, passionate and rough, leads you with zeal. Tifa, nurturing yet strong, is the emotional heart you half remember. The original's blocky polygons and the remake's dazzling realism both deliver the same visceral tension smoke, alarms, soldiers in pursuit, the faint echo of collapsing floors. Cloud remains detached, haunted, never quite fitting in. Almost as if he too is wondering why he reacts with muscle memory no civilian should possess. Remake players witness every consequence. A child screams, debris clouding the artificial twilight, and the post-bomb anxiety. Are you actually making things better? Time even fractures visually flickers of a man with unthinkable power, Sephiroth, seeming to haunt Cloud's perception as reality bends. Yet under the frantic escape, friendship bonds form in subtle ways, a hand squeezed, a trust implied between chaos. The ghosts of past traumas rumble beneath every interaction, challenging your sense of duty and identity. Who am I really saving? The city seems to whisper. Even successes feel stained by doubt. Final Fantasy VII is a revolution, environmental, personal, and metaphysical. You're never sure if you're the hero or merely a pawn in someone else's devastating plan. In both versions, what begins as an act of rebellion quickly shifts, from fighting Megacore to confronting fate itself, as the power to change destiny comes at a soul-shattering cost. Persona 5 stares down society's mask, then dares you to rip it off. You're accused of a crime you didn't commit, branded a troublemaker, uprooted and thrown into Tokyo's grinding system. Protagonist by day, scapegoat by night. Your every step is watched, every breath judged by adults who delight in your fall. But secrets run beneath the mundane. Your gifted smartphone pulses to life, drawing you into the metaverse, a surreal realm shaped by the darkness in humanity's soul. A talking cat, Morgana, leads you through a castle conjured by twisted authority. Corruption isn't just a theme, it's a living world palaces built from the sins and warped fantasies of those in power. Each phantom thief you recruit is broken by the system, yet fiercely determined to shatter its chains. School life becomes another battleground, acing tests, making friends, forging connections that strengthen you in both realities. Even simple days riding the train, sharing ramen are haunted by the risk of exposure and betrayal. Everything is painted in vivid reds, deep shadows, and the slick pulse of jazz. The story's flow is heartbreak and triumph, often within the same conversation. Betrayal is a constant threat. In interrogations, you must balance truth with survival, every choice rewinding through memory, every success tinged with risk. Persona 5's opening is kinetic, relentless, and invigorating, daring the player to steal hearts and rewrite fate through sheer force of will, style, and bonds forged in adversity. You are both outcast and avenger, and the city's cruelty only sharpens your resolve. You awaken cold, bound, and powerless, the anonymity of death row offering no hope in a land torn by war. Amidst low murmurs, you learn you're just collateral in someone else's empire. The cart rattles and time drags. Characters beside you mutter about fate and rebellion. Snow swirls through pine trees, chilling more with implication than temperature. A crowd waits for the spectacle. Axes gleam. Names are read, none are yours. Someone is executed as an afterthought, then your turn comes. Kneeling, eyes forced skyward, a monstrous shriek splits the scene. A dragon, thought extinct for centuries, descends in a thunderstorm of flame and prophecy. Guards scatter, villagers scream, and the line between condemned and heroic erases instantly. You sprint through burning debris, barely choosing survival or alliance before freedom is thrust upon you. The open air is not relief, but raw possibility. Rails fall away. Everywhere is potential. Some suggest hiding. Others urge you to fight. But a power awakens in your throat, a thrum that makes the mountains rattle. Skyrim seduces with the lie of freedom. Nothing is off limits. Bandit caves, ancient crypts, hidden tombs, lost legends. The game stitches personal destiny to the sweep of history, all against the cold, beautiful indifference of Tamriel's sprawling world. You are Dragonborn proven not by birthright, but by emerging alive from oblivion. The opening moments of Baldur's Gate 3 are part horror, part fantasy, an alien nightmare violently fused to a D&D epic. You wake immobilized, eyes forced wide by tentacled intruders from realms beyond reason as a parasite squirms behind your cornea. This isn't some future technology, but a medieval nightmare unfolding on the squirming, organic decks of a mind flayer ship. Panic simmers beneath every breath. Escape isn't simply survival, it's revolt against powers that treat souls as resources. You, Crashland, crawling from wreckage with no understanding of the infection's progression or purpose. Companions assemble from desperation and shared trauma. An immortal vampire, a Githyanki warrior, a cleric haunted by prophecy. Trust is elusive. Every encounter, whether slowed by turn-based combat or quickened by dialogue, is shaped by dice rolls, quick thinking, and the knowledge that every action could spiral into disaster or salvation. Unshackled freedom is intoxicating. Persuade, charm, menace, betray, even romance at your own risk. Friendships smolder at the edge of violence, alliances fracture in a blink. The disease in your brain never quite leaves the conversation. It's both threat and evolution. Every success laced with fear, every victory shadowed by the possibility that the very power you rely on could be your downfall. In Baldur's Gate, heroism is improvisation, and fate is whatever you have the courage or audacity to seize in the next role. You don't start on a continent, you start on a corpse. Xenoblade Chronicles opens on the colossal, ancient body of a fallen titan so massive that entire civilizations thrive on its arms, spine, and legs. Above, across an endless ocean of clouds, is another titan, their eternal enemy, frozen in mid-swing. You play as Shulk, a quiet, empathetic genius working in a weapons laboratory at Colony 9, unaware that his life, his entire world is about to collapse. Peace here is fleeting. The shimmering peace of the colony is sliced open by an army of Meshon metallic monsters from the neighboring titan. They don't speak, they don't bleed, they simply destroy. And in one brutal invasion, they take everything from Shulk, especially someone he couldn't imagine losing. His grief becomes purpose. His scream becomes prophecy. Grasping the Monado, a mythical sword thought impossible to wield, he sees visions of the future, deaths before they happen, tragedies unfolding in slow motion. The twist? You see them too. And just like Shulk, you can't always stop what's coming. Combat is real-time, driven by position, coordination, and timing, but also by hope, trust, and conviction. Every step is a journey across vast, surreal landscapes dotted with impossibly beautiful biomes. The cameras tilt upwards and downwards, reminding you just how small you are on the body of a dead god. But you're not just climbing landscapes, you're climbing fate. The game quickly becomes a tale of trauma, revenge, and breaking the rules of destiny itself. Politics, betrayal, love, and divine interference escalate everything beyond a simple journey for justice. In fact, you'll realize justice has very little to do with it. Because when the future shows nothing but death, who do you become to change it? What if innocence wasn't a shield, but a target? Kingdom Hearts begins as a quiet dream. Waves lap at the shores of Destiny Islands. Children build rafts and talk about sailing to other worlds. The sky is too blue, the sun too bright. Sora, Riku, and Kairi dance on the edge between childhood and something bigger, something threatening to pull them apart. Then, the storm comes. You fall into blinding darkness. Giant shadows stretch across stained glass floors etched with Disney princesses. The voice you hear isn't comforting, it's cryptic, ancient. The closer you get to the light, it says, the greater your shadow becomes, and then you're fighting it. Monsters born from loneliness, fear, and greed swarm your now desolate island. Your friends vanish in the chaos. You aren't saved, you're swallowed. You wake in Traverse Town, a strange place filled with even stranger allies. Donald Duck, Goofy, shopkeepers who once lived in other games entirely. Worlds, actual Disney worlds, are colliding, their hearts stolen by a darkness that creeps from realm to realm. But beneath Mickey Mouse and fairy tales lies something deeper, a war over identity, memory, and the very essence of the soul. The Keyblade chooses you for reasons you don't yet understand. And every world you visit, whether it's filled with pirates, genies, or beasts, is a still-beating metaphor for loss, transformation, and love that cannot be undone. Because growing up isn't just about adventure, it's about learning how shadows don't vanish when you open your eyes. History is written by survivors, but rarely by the honest. Final Fantasy Tactics opens with a funeral, but the death goes deeper than bones or blood. A legend is being laid to rest, kind, noble, brave, and possibly entirely false. The real story, it turns out, was buried long ago, rewritten by kings, churches, and closed mouths. What follows is the tale you were never meant to hear. Enter Ramza Bulv, a younger son in a noble house, born into privilege but allergic to cruelty. War breaks out ostensibly over succession, but underneath it, a darker war chokes the kingdom of Ivalice. Peasants revolt, nobles scheme. The church rewrites destiny with forged saints and celestial lies. And Ramza? Cast aside by his own blood for daring to speak out. This isn't a fantasy where heroes wield divine power and win with honor. This is a grid of betrayals where tactical decisions are life or death and no move is ever clean. You lose allies. Friends fall by your blade. And sometimes, doing the right thing damns you harder than if you'd done nothing at all. But amid the sorrow, you catch glimpses of beauty, loyalty blooming in the margins, trust between outcasts, the brief radiance of truth unspoken. The story unfolds like a political thriller, but its soul is spiritual tragedy. The Zodiac Braves, demons in angelic namesake, descend through a church that's supposed to offer salvation. And in the end, you realize something chilling. The hero who saved the world will never be known because you were him, and they erased you. Chrono Trigger is a celebration of RPGs that begins like a dream and evolves into a warning. You start as a teenager waking up on the day of your hometown's festival. Bells ring, the sun is warm, music loops in a perfect 16-bit melody that feels like nostalgia even if you're playing for the first time. You meet a girl Marl by happy accident and spend the day exploring tents and tech, charming, innocent. And then, the machine explodes. She vanishes into thin air, and without blinking, you leap in after her. You're not a chosen one. You're not told what to do. You chase her across centuries from medieval battles to ruined, post-apocalyptic futures, and even to prehistoric jungles and floating mage kingdoms. With every leap through time, you begin to understand the true enemy is entropy. The end of the world is already happening, it just hasn't reached your moment yet. The game's greatest strength lies in its heart. Frog is a cursed knight trying to redeem a friend he couldn't save. Robo finds humanity in wires. Luca faces a moment that could save her mother or cement her grief. And you, silent protagonist though you are, never feel like less than the glue that holds this mosaic together. The stakes aren't just fate, they're choice. And when you face Lavos, the planet-eating horror behind it all, you realize time's most dangerous enemy is apathy. Beneath the earth lies a world that remembers everything. Undertale begins with a fall. A child drops into the underground, into a realm where monsters wait. But they don't pounce. They speak. They joke. Some welcome you. Some test you. And one Flowey the Flower smiles with too many teeth and too little warmth. The game plays like an old-school RPG until it doesn't. You can kill, but you don't have to. You can spare, even if they hurt you. Battles become conversations. Enemies remember what you said or didn't say the last time. And if you reload a save to try something different, Undertale remembers that too. Toriel offers you kindness wrapped in warnings. Sans hits you with terrible puns until he hits back. Papyrus dreams of friendship, while others dream of escape. But every action in this world branches not just into different endings, but different reflections. This isn't a battle between good and evil, it's a test of you. Will you be merciful for the sake of others, or cruel for convenience? Will you smile through awkward dates and cooking shows, or blast through everything to save time? And if you erase a life, will you live with what you become? The monsters aren't evil, they're mirrors. Now, I want to hear from you. Which RPG pulled you in the most? Or is there another game you think should have made the list? Drop a comment below. I read and reply to every single one, so your opinion really matters. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and keeps the content coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.